Hi guys, Mr. Botha here. I'm just going to show you some basics on Illustrator and some problems students generally have. Okay, first thing, if you haven't accessed Adobe Illustrator, you're going to search up Cloud in the search bar. You're going to click Adobe Cloud and you are going to log in using your student account. So if it asks you personal or school organization, you're going to click school organization. Use your school email and password, okay? When I pop open Illustrator, you're going to have to download the first time here. If you have any problems, go through and ask your teacher. They'll be more than willing to help. Okay, so now let's go file new. In design, we always deal with A3. So I'm just going to go print. I'm going to go view all and I'm going to go A3. Make sure it's landscape. I'm not too worried about the settings or what the actual paper it is because it's a vector image. It can be scaled to any size without any problem. So I'm going to go create. Now, the first thing you'll notice is I'm going to import my sketch to use as an underlay. Now, if I click on file, you will see that there is no import. Okay. That's because Adobe Illustrator uses place. Okay. Now I'm going to find my image. Now I've selected Bart Simpson here, a sketch of him. Because he's got some sharp points, some nice curves, and some shapes. So it's a good image to show you a bunch of these tools. The first tool I'm going to show you is pen. So the three tools are actually pen, curvature, and shape builder tool. If you hover over these different tools, it will tell you the name and what they are, okay? Give you a brief description. So pen tool is for any sharp corners, rectangles, squares, triangles, that type of thing, okay? Now, this big solid square is your fill, okay? So Bart Simpson's generally yellow, okay? And this is your outline. So if I double click on the outline, I can change the color outline. I'm just going to show you that I can change color. I'll change it to red just to show you what's happening, okay? So to do his hair, I'm going to just click on to the points and sketch out his hair nice and quick. Okay, now we're up to curves. Okay. Now the thing with curve is on a wide radius curve, I do less anchor points. Now these little dots are called anchor points. Okay. So you'll need less of them for a smooth long curve. For a tighter radius like this little one, okay, I'm going to do more. Now I'm not worried about his eyes because we're going to do that with shape, but I'm going to sketch out his nose and I'm just going to outline. I can add all these little features internally later. Okay. Remember, if it's a tight corner, lots of anchors. If it's a rather large corner, less anchors are needed. Now, I can't see what I'm going to sketch. I can't follow my line. So obviously I need to turn my fill off. So to do that, I'm going to click on my solid yellow square there. Okay. And I'm going to click on this little square that has this red line through it and say none. Okay. Now, just so I can see what I'm doing a bit better, I'm going to go to my stroke on the right-hand side. Some of you might have it up here. I do have it up here too. So I can change the thickness of my stroke, which is just another term for line. And I can then outline the rest of my bot face. Okay. So let's quickly do that. Now you'll see I made some mistakes. We can easily correct those mistakes after the fact. Okay, so the way I'd correct these anchors and fix some points is either grab my direct selection tool. Now, to show you the difference, I got my selection tool. This will change my overall size and move my objects. Okay, what I want to do is I want to edit my line to make it more accurate. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in by holding Alt and scrolling in. I'm going to double click on each anchor, and each anchor's got a handle, which is these two little um, solid blue circles on either end. So you can alter that. It's which way the line's coming off that anchor. Okay, so let's have a look at this point. I'm going to fix this up by either moving it, correcting it, and correcting that handle. Okay, you can make it as detailed as you like and as perfect as you like. Okay, perfect. I'm happy with that. So with those two, you should be able to draw anything that's got sharp edges, anything that's curved. Um, Sorry, this ear is bothering me. Beautiful. Okay. So just so I'm just going to change into yellow again, just so I can see. And I'm going to change my stroke again by clicking this little line and selecting black. Now, to do anything like an eye or anything with a shape, just grab this little shapes over here, the shape builder tool. Okay, I've got ellipses, you've got rectangles, you've got rounded rectangle tool, polygon, star. Okay, don't worry about flare. You'll these other ones you'll have to play with. Okay, so you'll see that when I select the ellipse, it can draw ovals, circles. If I want a perfect circles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down shift and it's going to draw a perfect circle. If I want that circle centered, I'm going to hold alt and shift together and it's going to center that. Okay. Now to make his eye, I'm going to draw one eyeball, then I'm going to draw another circle and make this black. Okay. And I'm happy with that. Okay. Now I can select, hold down shift, and I can click on both those objects and I can position it and rescale it as I want. Okay. Remember, I used the selection tool, not direct selection tool, because I'm moving it. Okay. Now, if I want to copy something really quickly, like you're doing building with Windows, I'm going to hold Alt and it will duplicate whatever I'm doing. So I'm holding down Alt and moving the object and it's going to duplicate it. Okay, so I can do that. Now I can add my little lines there if I haven't done his nose correctly, or I can add little details like his mouth, like after the fact. Hit exit to exit out the tool. Um, let's fix up his nose. Anyway, you get the point. All right. The other important tool that you'll definitely need is the shape building tool. So let's just say I'm doing Apple's logo. I'm going to draw my circle using the ellipse tool again. And I'm going to just make it a solid, a different shape, a different color, sorry. Um, let's make it, let's do an apple. Okay. So I'm going to turn my stroke off this time. I'm going to take a bite of this apple. So I'm going to draw another circle to represent the bite. I'll position it where I want it. When using the shape builder tool, make sure you select the objects you want to, you're cutting out or joining in. Okay, this is the shape builder tool, uh, just those two little circles, that dotted line. Okay, if I want to join two objects together, I'm going to draw straight through those objects. Okay, I don't want to draw straight through the objects. I want to delete it. So what I'm going to do is hold Alt on my keyboard and I'm going to click on the objects I want to delete. Perfect. So I've taken a bite out of the apple. Now I want to put some leaves, okay? So how I might represent some leaves is I am going to draw two circles and I'm going to highlight. Remember, I've got to highlight everything. And then I am going to go to my shape builder tool. I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to click on either ends and use the intersecting parts. So I'm going to make that green. Um, and what I can do is now, sorry, to rotate objects, guys, you click on it, make sure you're on the actual selection tool, and you hover over the corner until you see that little arrow that's curved, and you'll be able to rotate. So I'll put a leaf on, I'll just resize it, and then I'll hold Alt again, Put it the other way. Beautiful. Love it. So now you know how to cut away using shapes. You know how to use the curvature tool and you know how to use the pen tool. Okay. The hardest thing is getting used to using the direct selection tool, knowing when to use the direct selection tool. So when I'm going to edit my anchors, okay, um, and when I'm going to use my actual other selection tool, okay. So a lot of students get confused between these two. Make sure if you're going to edit something, you are on the direct selection tool. If you're moving an object, you're on the selection tool or resizing it. Another thing is the background. You might be constantly selecting the background and continually moving it. Sometimes it's really helpful to know where your layers is. So your layers will be over here, and use this drop down bar and actually, I'm just trying to find my image. Sorry, I've deleted it. So if I find my actual sketch and I want to lock it into place, what I can actually do is click next to this little eye and you'll see this locked icon. Okay. What that does is it locks the background. So I can move my sketch, I can edit my sketch, but I'm not continually selecting the background. That can be very helpful. One other thing that I missed, I should have showed you at the start, is you got to be in Windows Workspace and Essentials Classic. That's the best one for sketching and for your design work. I'll just show you what Essentials looks like. So you've got just less of a selection on your toolbar there. If you've got that, please go to Window Workspace Essentials Classic. All right, guys, I think that's enough for you at the moment. Have a play around, do your best, use shapes, use your curvature tool, and use your pen.